Clutch Trucker is filmed before a live studio audience. That's Rusty. He's a dog made entirely out of meatballs. Right, Rusty? To get Rusty to do these openings with me, I have to bribe him with these canine carryouts. Beef flavor. Ah. Jump up. Up. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Yes. Canine carryouts, a dog's best friend. Right, Rusty? Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel, now with fluoride. Anyway, today's video is just kind of fun. Some silly things. Some off the dash cam. I wish I had saved more of the videos, but I got some good stuff. And one I wasn't even planning on getting. Caught a guy taking a leak in front of my truck. Yep, while I was parked at the TA in Greenville, Tennessee. I had parked, and then during the night, he parked in front of me, which he really shouldn't have because he was blocking me in. But luckily, he left before I did. But my dash cam catches him getting out of his truck, doing a pre-trip, and then he walks in between the front of his truck and my truck, and it's obvious he's taking a leak. I mean, come on. You know, watch the video and decide for yourself. Okay, at this point, he'd already gotten out of his truck, and he was doing a pre-trip, kicking the tires. You can see him coming back up here, the passenger side. And yeah, he's kind of looking at everything. Yep, kicks the passenger side drive or steer tire. And then kind of looks around, look in front, make sure everything looks all right. Then he steps in between his truck and my truck, and you can see the quick glance around. Oh, is anyone looking? Oh, right there you can tell, zip. There goes the fly. We'll start the countdown here. Yep. Oh, and he looks back at my truck to see if my curtains are still closed to make sure I'm not catching him taking a leak. Yep, there he is, Mr. Clean, taking a good old leak there in front of his truck, right in between his truck and my truck. Oh, now he's looking back down, must be almost done. Time to zip it up. Oh, don't catch it in the zipper there, Mr. Clean. Oh, yep. Oh, he's all done. All right. Now walks back around the other side. And, yep. I think he's all done. Looks back at his other steer tire, and now it's time to get back in the truck. Maybe get on your way, Mr. Clean, Mr. Volvo. I guess I should give Mr. Clean there some props for at least walking around his truck and doing a pre-trip, which so many other drivers don't. But, yeah, come on. It's obvious what you're doing, guy. This is why I don't throw away bottles. I try not to ever do that outside in public, especially at the truck stop. Come on. This is why they stink so bad. I do it in a bottle and I throw them away. But anyway, well, Mr. Clean did his business and he's driving a Volvo. What a shock. You know, I had a couple of deliveries this week, which were just in partially in ridiculous places and partially access to them. And one of them, especially the first one in Dansville, no, not Dansville, I keep calling it Short Hairs, New York. It was Shortsville. I get to that town and, you know, I'm going down the road and I'm like, okay, can this really be here? And the address is at 20 Race Street in Shortsville, New York. Well, Race Street is basically an alley between a couple of houses. I'm going, this just doesn't look right. It's covered in snow. There's a big sign that says, do not enter, dead end. Using the brains I have up here in my head, I decided probably not a good idea to go down this little alley thing because there's no guarantee I'm going to be able to get back out, especially with the snowpack and everything. So I call the broker and say, look, this is supposed to be here, but it doesn't look like it's here. And they call the contact of the place, and they call me back and swear up and down, yeah, that's really where it is. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't see it. So I just kind of get myself parked down the road a little bit. They said, well, we're going to send the guy over to find you. He came over and found me. He said, yep, that alleyway back there, that's it. That's where you're supposed to go. I'm like, really? Okay, so I went down it, and sure as crap, you go over this little bridge that looks like it's being held together by termites, and you get to this warehouse, and you go down this long warehouse around the back side where you got to back into the dock. Ice and snow covered and mud. So I'm trying to work my way into the dock. I get as best they got a truck parked on the side, pallets stacked up everywhere where we need to turn around and you have room, but no, they stack up crap out there like so many frickin' shippers and receivers do. Yeah, the reason that was originally that wide was so we had room to maneuver, you jack-offs. Anyway, did my best trying to maneuver into their little tiny dock and was a little bit sideways. Now, the guy comes out finally and says, well, you know, you're a little bit sideways there. We can't get the ramp down, or, you know, so you need to move it over a little bit. I said, look, I did about the best I could without getting stuck, which I almost did 3 times in your mud pit out here. And, well, you got to move it a little bit. I said, all right, I'll try. So I try, I get it straightened out, get it lined up, and start backing up. But of course, I get stuck on the ice. Here's a picture of what it looked like in front of my truck. So then 2 of the underlings come out, and they're trying to put some salt down underneath my wheels and put some dirt and twigs and crap around my tires to help me get moving. And we try that for like 45 minutes, and of course that's not working. And then finally Mr. Big Guy comes out, the one who originally came over and got me, and said, well, yeah, you're sitting on about 6 inches of ice, and you know, that's kind of what's going to happen. I said, yeah, well, this is what happens when you have a dock in an area not properly maintained. You don't have it plowed properly. It's full of mud. And this is what happens when you don't have a good place where you know big trucks are coming in and out of. I don't care if it was built 150 years ago. You're expecting big trucks now. You need to have a proper place for us to back into. Well, we'll do what we can. I said, well, you got a chain, because I'm only about 20 feet from your dock. Strap it to your forklift, which is inside the building on dry pavement. Maybe you can yank me back a little bit and we can get off of this ice patch. What do you think? Well, I don't know. Maybe I could use my pickup. I think there's not enough room to use your pickup. Well, Mr. Big and the other 2 decided to keep throwing ice and snow and twigs and rocks underneath my tires to see if they could move. They finally gave that up, and guess what they did? They did what I suggested. They tied a strap to the back of my bumper and to their forklift and yanked on it enough to where I could get moving and backed up into their freaking dock. Can you say idiots and assholes, morons? Hello? Okay, so after that, I made it over to West Seneca, New York, which is in the Buffalo area, picked up a load of bottled water, going down to Newport, Tennessee, for the next day. And so now, here's some video of the road I had to drive down to get to this warehouse in Newport, Tennessee. Okay, you can see where I kind of was trying to make this sharp turn. You can't tell how steep that little drive is, but really steep. And there's a fence on the right side. I couldn't make it any further. Mr. Cowboy Hat comes running out, and he says, well, I saw you behind me coming down this road and figured this is where you're coming to, but yeah, you're really not supposed to come this way in, but there used to be a sign back there saying trucks don't come down this road. I said, yeah, there wasn't a sign. He said, yeah, I know. That sign got knocked down a few weeks back. It's down there in the mud. Put up a new sign, jackwagon. Well, what you got to do is get yourself backed up, get back on this little kind of road here, go back into town, get yourself turned around, come back the other way, and there's a driveway on the other side of the warehouse. That's where you need to go in. Okay. So I did that, made myself back into town, turned around in a funeral home parking lot, got back down the road, which isn't that much better coming the other way, and back into their property, then went in to check in, and then Mr. Attitude inside is like, well, you know, you're not supposed to come down that other way, there's a sign. And I said, sir, there is no sign. Mr. Cowboy Hat comes running out, he backs me up, he says, oh, well, Mr. Attitude, that sign got knocked down a couple weeks ago, it's down there in the mud on the side of the road. And I said, yeah, didn't occur to me to look for signs in the mud on the side of the road that might be telling me not to go that way. I said, why is this warehouse down this tiny little road anyway? Even the other way, the coming in, is not much better. You guys got zoning laws here? You ever heard of that? You know, it shouldn't be down a road like this with bad truck access. Well, this is just the way it is here. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I know, because I'm in the South, right? Because you have zoning laws don't exist. You haven't heard of them. Well, sir, you just need to go out and wait in your truck and we'll come get you. Needless to say, 2 other trucks got put in the dock before me because now I pissed off Mr. Attitude. Because I'm in the South and I'm telling them that they're a backward-ass country bumpkins and it... Anyway. Got past that. Now, I'm not just harping on the South. I'm sorry. You know, I like the South. A lot of it is pretty. It's wonderful, nice weather. But, you know, a lot of the roads and everything leading to these places, they should have better truck access. You know, but I'm sure there weren't zoning laws until about 25 years ago or something to take care of that kind of crap, and they were still allowed to happen. Northeast, up in the old cities, Philadelphia, New York, Connecticut area, they're just as bad. Why? Because them warehouses have been there 150 years, and they never changed the rules, and even though they were only made for little tiny wagons and little tiny trucks, now they expect 53-foot vans with a truck in front of it to get into these places. I delivered in Connecticut one time where I'm blocking 2 lanes of a road while in a dock. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. They should change the rules and say, you know, warehouses, you gotta move out or something. But, well, it's always been this way. Don't have much tolerance for that crap. So anyway, finally, then got done there, picked up. They got me another load picking up in Greenville, Tennessee, a load of water again. I picked up a load of water in New York, brought it to Tennessee, and then I picked up a load of water going to Bedford, Pennsylvania. So I was out of hours after I picked up and parked at the TA in Greenville. Got a Papa John's pizza, at least that wasn't too bad. Their thin crust ain't too bad. First time I tried their thin crust. Not bad, all right? They got parked, and then of course the next morning, that's when Mr. Clean decided to take a leak in front of my truck, which you saw earlier. And I had an air issue. I couldn't move the trailer. So I had to fix that, and so then I wasn't going to make my delivery. Called the broker, let them know, and so now I'm rescheduled to deliver tomorrow morning in Bedford, Pennsylvania at the Walmart Distribution Center just up the road. Right now I'm at the TA in Breezewood, Pennsylvania. When I pulled in here, it was already damn packed, so I figured, well, I got to reserve a spot. So I had enough Ultra credits. If you watch my videos about taking advantage of TA Petro's Ultra One points program, you never have to pay for a reserved spot again, drivers. Watch those videos, very informative. Anyway, and I used one of my Ultra credits earlier today when I stopped in Racine, Virginia to fuel up. This load was real heavy. After I got loaded, it was 80,020 pounds, and I only had a quarter tank. I made it to Racine, Virginia, and I was only able to put on about 60 gallons because I knew that other Virginia scale just south of Winchester is always open, and it was when I went through there. And of course, I got pulled into both Virginia scales. After I got past that, I stopped at a tiny little Rutter's in Irwan or something. Let me look it up here. Inwood, West Virginia, where then I was able to fill up because I knew I wouldn't be passing another scale. And I wanted to pay the cheaper fuel because up in Pennsylvania, it's like $3.49 a gallon. It's ridiculous. I paid $2.79 a gallon down in Inwood, West Virginia. Went ahead and filled it up. And now I'm parked here in Breezewood at the TA, and I will go the last 23 miles to Bedford tomorrow morning for my 9 a.m. delivery. And we'll see what happens after that. Got a shower also in Racine. That's why the shirt color's changed. I think it's the first time I've ever showered there in Racine at the Big Petro. Kind of nice showers. They actually have a glass door on there. It's kind of nice. Also, there's a brand new Nathan's inside, so I got a couple of Nathan's chili cheese dogs for lunch. Oh, yes. It was a beautiful thing, baby. Thank you. All right, so that's it for this video. Just kind of complaining about some shippers and receivers with ridiculous locations, ridiculous access, and, of course, Mr. Clean taking a leak in front of my truck. See, I keep my dash cam on all night, all the time when I'm parked, because you never know when some asswagon's going to run into you while you're parked and sleeping. I keep it running, so just in case that happens, I can pull the video back up. And I was just kind of going through the videos, and I was actually seeing if I still had the one from New York, but it had passed too long. My SD card's not that big. But that's when I found the video of Mr. Clean taking the leak. Funny things. All right, gotta love it. Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. I would love to kick that up. Please like, please comment, please ring the bell, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch out.